Today we're going to cover absolute versus relative measurements in T4D Web. We're also going to go through how to configure the relative measurement date for the entire project and for a single sensor. If you've been using T4D Web for a while, you might have noticed that in some of the features like the charting and analysis and some of the alarming, you can specify absolute versus relative measurements. And so let's just talk about what the difference between those two is. An absolute measurement uses the original reference coordinate that's found in T4D control server. And so this comes from whenever you did site setup or if you applied the displacements through the integrity monitor. A relative measurement uses a specific reference date rather than the original reference coordinate calculated by T4D control server. To change the reference date for a sensor, all you need to do is go to the sensors page and then select on a sensor. In this example, I'm going to use golf because it's in that analysis we've already been using. And then select configure reference date. Here we can select either the project default, which is the references that's already built into T4D control server. I can use the oldest available observation, specific date, or rolling offset. For this project, I want a rolling offset. And we'll set it to 7 days, which means it's going to use a reference from 7 days ago. And the reference is going to be the value per day, or we can set that to every epoch. The selection mode, I'm going to use latest and closest rather than closest to, and then I'm going to hit save. You can also change the default reference date for the entire project rather than just for a single sensor. To do so, we can go to the sensors page, and then come down here to the settings tab, and click on relative measurement reference date. Here we can change the entire project default. It defaults to oldest available observation, but let's change this to be a specific date. We're going to leave it as value per day and then latest and closest, and then I'm going to hit save. Unless otherwise specified, all the sensors will use the project default as the reference. Now that the relative reference measurement dates are set up, let's take a look at how the data differs. First, let's take a look at a chart that uses an absolute measurement. Next, let's look at a chart that uses a relative measurement. This relative measurement is using a rolling offset of 7 days. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out our YouTube channel for other videos on T4D Web.